Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel. So here we are, beginning of Midnight Mine. In lieu of last time's video, we are at 203 degrees on the transmission just getting here. I'm gonna lock it in second gear, whatever is pertinent, and we're gonna do it in second gear now because everyone said 4 low is the reason it got hot. So 203 just to get here. It is a little bit warmer of a day, about 10 degrees warmer outside than the last time, but this is gonna be it. I'm gonna turn around if it's 230, so we'll see how we go. All right, sorry for the rush there. It's a lot busier than the last time. I just want to get the camera up there. There was nowhere to pull off because a bunch of people were pulled over and parked. So I'm gonna drive the same. We're just in 2-wheel drive, locked in second gear or whatever is pertinent. Once again, a little bit warmer on the outside, but let's see how hot the transmission gets. I did take it down to the dealership the day after that happened. Service manager there said, yeah, that's way too hot. They did take a sample of the transmission fluid and said it didn't look burnt, so that's good. They had a transmission tech drive it around. He did say, I mean, sometimes on downshifts on this truck it does kind of clunk into gear, so he did notice that. However, they scanned the system. There weren't any codes. You know, they can't do any warranty work if there aren't any codes being thrown or the transmission fully overheated. So he said I can pay the diagnostics if I want to. I can pay that hourly shop rate for them to, you know, diagnose the transmission or pull it apart and look at it or whatnot. But I figured that's not really necessary at this point. We'll just live with it and see if it does it again. So for the sake of science, this is me doing it again. 2-wheel drive, still running the AC, same thing as last time. Handful of people say I shouldn't be running 4 low in a trail like this. I beg to differ. Yeah, obviously 4 low is for rock crawling and, you know, getting out of something real tricky, sand, loose stuff like that. It's also used for climbing and crawling, which is exactly what we're doing. The truck is going between 5 and 10 mile an hour doing this trail. It's just pretty much straight up. This is about a 3,000 foot climb from the base. By this point in the last video, I had already put it in 4 low. So I remember taking that corner. I was already in 4-wheel drive. And I think, if I recall, right around these next couple corners where it was sort of shaded, that's where I pulled the iPhone out and took that first clip of the transmission. I think it was at 223 at that point. I'll have to cross-reference all this stuff, go back and take a look. So there we are. Hopefully you can see that. GoPro has a hard time focusing. It just hit 237 when I was backing up, went back to 235. It is now in neutral with the parking brake on to hopefully cool down. All right, I'm just gonna let her sit for a bit. I mean, that wasn't even that long in 235 on the transmission, but for reference, God, I hear the knees there. I mean, it's like, it's a steep road. Let me do the good old rock throw. Decent sized rock here. I'll just kind of toss her down. You probably can't even see that, but yeah. So with that said, on the truck here, what options do we have? I think I'm gonna look into a thermostat delete and probably add an external transmission cooler, because I mean, if you're gonna take it on just not even a bad trail and it's gonna get that hot, we can't have that happen. So the point of this mostly was just to show, it's not the fact that I was running a 4 low that it got that hot. 4 low, totally pertinent. I'll hit this section here in 2-wheel drive just to show y'all exactly what goes on there. But it wasn't the 4 low, it's just the truck is getting hot. And I understand the truck is under load, it's being pushed, it's gonna get warm. I'm still not happy with those temperatures. And if we look here, I have it'll zoom at all. A 342 rear axle ratio. So there's a calculator somewhere online. 342. Nowhere close to good for towing and or off-roading. That's more of a highway economy rear axle ratio. Thank you, EPA, for DOD and terrible rear axle ratios. Cannot say that. The black truck had a 323. Ideally 373, 410, even higher than that, 488. With addition to the bigger tires, that ratio gets even lower. So I'm running a very not good rear axle ratio for off-road. So combination of factors, we're getting up to 12,000 almost, so I think 11,500 feet at the top of this mountain. We're running bigger tires, oversized tires on the truck. Rear axle ratio, no auxiliary transcooler, and we have a thermostat on the transmission at 190. So a lot of factors that make this not great for climbing and off-roading, unfortunately. Every time I go to film going up this hill, someone else drives down the road and they're probably gonna run over the GoPro, but you just gotta take my word, it's steep. So like I just said, rear axle ratio, pronounced it right that time. Oversized tires make that ratio worse. I guess just inadequate transcooling, just making her hot. So she's been sitting here for a little bit. You know, still at 234, so I'm not really happy with that. Obviously it's just gonna keep getting hotter, so we'll go right on back down. All right, so back down the hill here, hill descent control on, just locked in first gear here. Ooh, forgot to turn the AC off while I was sitting there letting it idle. God dang, it's hot. I will say though, in this truck, hill descent control is one of those features that I've, you know, always kind of just looked past, but god dang, it is so nice to have. Kill that bug. It's so nice to have. You just choose a speed on the cruise control and you just walks you right down. No feet touching nothing, just steering. Trans temp is dropping slowly. It's at 230. One other thing I thought about, they make those, you know, scanners that you can put in the corner there, and they pretty much just show engine vitals from the OBD2 port. So maybe that will be the first thing I do. If I can find one cheap, I'll hook that up, and we'll see if the transmission is actually running at 230 degrees or if this gauge is just total nonsense. You know, because there's an off chance that it's just reporting something else. I don't know. This is going to be mostly just kind of a rambling video, but it is what it is.